Hello and welcome to this January 2026 energy reading. God, I do like the sound of 2026. I like the way it's written. I like all of the little squiggles because I'm very connected to the number 8. I did and the number 2, and yeah, it's all adds up to a number 1. Well, actually, it adds up to a 10. Okay, and then it comes down to a 1. So I think it's interesting to know and to understand, as many of you will do, that we're coming out of a number 9 year and we're not quite out yet until mid-February. And in around 17th is the end of the year of the snake and the end of the number 9 year, essentially. Okay, so it's really, really important, and that's why I was slow to getting this video out, because I am, taking it easy myself. I'll have a lot of stuff going on, as many of you do, but no matter what, we still have to show up, don't we? And as I always say, better late than never, but it's only the 7th, it could be worse. I did do a little video on New Year's Eve just that would sort of do this week, but I think it's really, really, I just felt very called to come on here. Now, I do have my dog here. If he makes a noise or he barks, apologies, I'm dog sitting. But I think that's really relevant in itself, because in the last video I did talk about protection, and there's a lot of animal guys and animal support wants to come in, and we are still in a period of completion. We are still in a period of endings, and when you are going through endings and completion and almost like a death, energetic death, spiritual death, you need to take your time with it. You need to just be in the moment and be present and allow whatever needs to flow through you to flow through you. Okay. The other thing is, I was talking to a human design coach, and she was saying that it is you probably don't know what human design is. Some of you will, some of you won't. We'll talk about it another time. Great to get Laura on, actually, and do an interview with her on it. But she was saying that the human design new year actually kicks off on the 22nd, which makes a lot of sense to me, actually, when I look at this in hindsight, because I'm still feeling that people just need to be in a bit of a cocoon for the next couple of weeks, and then they will slowly start to come out of it, which would be in and around that 3rd week. But what I mean is, you're still going to sit and, I love to use the word peruse, and just contemplate and just look at, goals and intentions and what you're calling in and what you want to achieve, and what behaviours you're closing out from last year, what you want to bring in, which will allow you to look at what you're bringing in for this year. But you don't necessarily need to do anything about it. You just need to think about it, and I messaged a client yesterday and I was like, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm just watching, Netflix or whatever. And I posed a couple of questions to her, and she's like, yeah, and it just got her thinking about stuff, because we can get stuck in a way, yeah, but it's nice to, reach out, to talk, to get clear on what you're calling in, and as to why as well, because then the universe wants to give you, the universe, God, whatever your belief system is, wants to give you what you want. Everything is in your favor. Okay, it's just sometimes we see obstacles and we think that, oh, I've done something wrong, or I'm in the wrong track, or when really that's just because you've called something in. That's the obstacle that needs to go to heal that, to clear that, to bring whatever that is you're calling in to fruition and towards you. Okay, so yeah, so that's the 22nd, and something I'm feeling called to do, which I will do when I get a minute. Somebody's already messaged me about this, so thank you for that, because it's given me confirmation. I was just thinking about it. I have what's called it's an online course, a hormone balance course. It's an 8-week course, and it's not really a course, but it's really, really hard to describe this, and those of you that have done it just love it, and it's it's something I think would be really needed this time of year, that will allow you to go nice and slow. But it still covers all areas. It covers nutrition, gentle, intuitive eating. It covers gentle yoga. Okay, it's hormone flow yoga, which is like it's like yin. Sorry, my dog's in a car. He's going to do this. Apologies. I don't have a choice. Leo. No. And then it has journal questions in it as well. And what's the other thing? Oh, meditation. Okay, so it has these 4 areas as opposed to going to the gym, strict diet plan. You want to have a balance of the 4 bodies: your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Okay, so I am going to do a little bit of a discount code coming up to January. Might put it out next week. I really don't know. So keep an eye on that. And I will pop the link below with the code below, because this obviously video will be up for the full month of January. And I'm thinking of, every now and again, I decide to join with you guys doing the 8-week journey and do like a live each week or every other week. So I'm feeling I'm going to do that. So you're going to get a lot of extra support from me, as well as getting the discount code. I'm just feeling needing to send some love, you know. Yeah, it's just feeling super grateful, just, you know, for you guys, and just for this, you know, this business that I have, and be able to help people, and, you know, yeah, lots. So one of the things that I have done in this particular video, which I don't normally do, is I normally like shuffle cards and rant on. I've actually pulled cards beforehand. I haven't turned them over, just to cut out the shuffling piece. See if that makes me any more clarity. Oh, not clarity quicker, but it is just the way it is, you know. So we have Mother Mary. Now I love that Mother Mary has come in there. She came in yesterday with a client, and this is a beautiful Mother Mary card, actually. It's the latest Kyle Gray deck, because she's just young and youthful, okay? And there's also a real, so you're being asked whether you are male or female in January to nurture. And that's what I'm talking about, is, you know, love. I've got pink here. Pink is nurture and compassion and love. And also the colour blue is connected to the throat chakra. It's also connected to the third eye. It's also connected to your higher soul self, your future self, your soul self, okay? And any mothers and grandmothers, or anybody in spirit, as well as obviously, you know, Mother Mary, you know, she is connected to miracles. So it's really important to, you know, believe in miracles, believe in the highest timeline. Don't look at the facts. Don't look at what others are saying. Just, if you feel something inside your heart, you know, trust that no one, even though it doesn't look like that. I'm sort of covering my face here on the outside world, okay? And I love how she has this, like a crystal around her. So, you know, this is like the snow and the ice that we've had recently, and it's come in just as a powerful healing tool and a protection almost, okay? Miraculous encounter, it says. Divine experiences. Do not be afraid of being powerful. Yeah. I've got this card many times, and I didn't really, it's not something that I would associate Mother Mary with. I would associate Mary Magdalene with power. But this is this, you know, as, I suppose as females, apologies to the males watching, but you will have females in your life. And you have a feminine side as well. But, you know, as females, we have like a Mother Mary energy, nurturing and compassion. And then we have a Mary Magdalene energy, which is, you know, we put our boundaries in place, and, you know, that she's not really liked, you know, and a lot of women can turn against women for being in their power, for doing what's right for them. And, you know, it's a whole pandemic in itself, to be honest, you know, and it is really connected to the mother wound, really, you know. So, and this whole thing, you know, passed back through generations of, you know, Mary Magdalene and her being this terrible person and all the rest, you know, which I know it's now being lifted, but, you know, it's still, there's what's called an Eve stain, okay? So do not be afraid of being powerful, but powerful doesn't mean that you have to destroy. Powerful doesn't mean that you have to get angry. Powerful is simply you being in your light and just knowing who you are. And that is what I would encourage you to work on in January, so that the first month is really important, you know, and how it sets the tone for not only this year, but this new 9-year cycle, the next 9 years, okay? And then we have Ishtar, all right? Very powerful colors there. Follow your heart. Inner learnings. And that's what I'm saying. It's these inner learnings that are here. And what's the lessons? You know, what's been the lessons in the last 9 year cycles? What's been the lessons? You know, look back to the last 1 year cycle, which would have been, was it 2017? Or was it 2018? I'm terrible with numbers. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 2018. So look back to where you were, what you were doing in 2018. And, that was the last 1 year cycle. That was the last time you were in a year one. And I'm sure it wasn't a bed of roses either. Be very careful and going, new year, new everything, shove that all onto the carpet. No, not necessarily. It can still be good, but you still have to close things out. And the biggest way of doing that is following your heart. Truth will prevail. Your truth, throat chakra, your truth. It doesn't matter if others don't believe you. It doesn't matter. As long as you do, as long as you know what's true in your heart and in integrity, that is the main thing, and that energy will emanate. And the truth will always come to light in the end. Always. Okay. So staying in the heart, hence why I'm wearing all the pink. Now I do want to look at the card underneath this. Oh, there we go. And there's the protection, the protective field. Lots of blue energy. Violet. Protective light is surrounding you. You are safe. Spiritual force field. So take a moment just to, it's really important every day that you, like one of the things that one of the reasons why I did the Hormone Balance 8-week, course, protocol, whatever it was to help you then at the end of it have like a daily sacred practice. And everybody's would be a little bit different. And it doesn't need to be work. It can be 2 minutes, it can be 1 minute, it can be 5 minutes, it can be 20 minutes some days, But as long as you almost every day, as soon as you wake up, do some deep breathing and put yourself in a beautiful protective bubble. And then at the end of the evening, close out the day, close out things that you've watched, stuff you've seen, conversations you've had, like vortexes open up, whenever with different scenarios, and you can still be attached to all of that. And one of the things, my sleep has been really bad. It hasn't been great, but for particularly the last 18 months and the last 3 years overall, it's just, and I've had to put strict protocols in. As one of my New Year things was I need sleep. I need to get better sleep. Because it's affecting my weight and everything. And obviously my business and how much I can work and all the rest. And I've just recognised, because I'm an intuitive, because I'm a healer, I tune it. So I've decided I'm not opening messages in the evening. Like sometimes I'll be sitting beside my bed and I'm very available for my clients or people that aren't clients. Like I just, I'm always there. And as much as that's good, like I've had to just go, right, the morning is the best time for me. And I've started to just tell people I will respond in the morning, or I'll respond when I can, and I will always respond, and it's always the right time for them. And that has made such a difference in me not having other people's energy in my energy field as I'm going to bed at night. It's like the simplest of things, So your spiritual force field is really, really important. And this underneath that is Saint Germain. So this is the violet flame. This is what you were closing out, the number 9. This is this colour that I'm wearing. Violet flame alchemy, release the old and make way for the new. And that's what we're doing. But make sure we release the old, all right? And that is, stuff will come up in January. Stuff could come out of the blue for you to look at. Please, please, please try not to go into a panic. Just go, okay, what is this telling me? Lee said this would happen. What is the lessons and the learnings? And which part of me is in that reaction? Which part of me is freaking out right now, is in fear or in worry? And you hold that part of you to get to the source, okay? And that's what's also in the Hormone Balance is what's called a sourcing meditation. My clients love it because it's like a one-to-one with me, where if you get a trigger and you need to get to the source, like what age was that? What was the memory? And this is the sourcing meditation that guides you through, like a one-to-one with me, to get you to the memory. It's pure gold, as they say. Okay, so we have some animal cards here. I love these. So the number 1, the snow leopard, like literally there's still some snow there. Wasn't it lovely? Just loved the snow and just loved being snowed in and not having to move. It's my, as much as I'm a Leo, my Venus is in Cancer. My feminine is, in the key of and all the rest. And I'm just not haven't been feeling like doing much for a long, long time with stuff that's going on. But so I'm just staying nice and safe in my own home. And so that was lovely to have that snow, and actually it was really healing, wasn't it? It was just the white snow is connected to purity. It's also clearing a lot of what I'm hearing, imbalanced fire energy, to prepare us to go into this year of the fire horse. And you don't want to go into that year with imbalanced fire energy. You want to go in with balanced fire energy. And imbalanced fire energy can be anger and jealousy and judgment and all of the rest, okay? So be the watcher, observe. That is probably the best advice I could give you with stuff that's going to come up in January. All right, just watch and observe. Why is this happening? Okay, let's just breathe into this. Let's ground first. Let's go for a walk. The best way is, if you're in a situation, is rise above it and look down at that from this higher bird's eye point of view. Okay, and then you will see yourself, and you will see the other people, and you'll see the other people's point of view. I do something I do all of the time, and it's what keeps me in my heart, keeps me compassionate. Sometimes too much, but it is, I'd rather have that skill than the other. Okay, so try that, being the snow leopard. I'm just seeing this leopard just gently, just, the snow leopard and the cat. It's not dog energy like I have here. Thank God my dog has calmed down. Be in the cat energy. Dog energy, you can sometimes carry too much for others and carry other people's stuff. I'm hearing sympathetic, empathetic. That sympathetic energy is like, I'll take that for you. Or the empathetic is how you want to be. It's like, I understand how you're doing. This is what I would advise, but I'm not here to do that for you. Okay. And that's where you put gentle, graceful boundaries in. Speaking your truth, but from a balanced place, not keeping it in and then blowing. And then we have the card of peace. Look at that beautiful gorilla. This big butt. It's a card number 1. Of course it is number 1. Peace, gorilla. And it is, it's time to put down the weapons. It's time to stop fighting. I had been hearing, like for a couple of months last year, every time I mentioned the word fire horse, I was hearing war horse. So it feels like there could be a lot of stuff happening this year. When you look at collectively what's happening, you can see that, but also that will be reflected in internal as well. There might be stuff coming up with relationships also, as we're the number 1 year, which is quite masculine. And then we are preparing to go into the number 2 year, which is 2027. And that is all, it's a number 2, which is relationships. So I think I'm feeling like a lot of relationship stuff could come up. Relationships with friends, with family, with loved ones, work colleagues, whatever. I've done a lot of stuff on this. And I always find that I go through a lot of stuff first, so then I can help and guide you. So yeah, peace. What is peaceful to you? Protect your peace, I'm hearing. Protect your peace. And what that means is, if there's stuff going on around you, and I'm feeling the cortisol rising, if there's stuff going on around you, you don't have to engage in everything. You can choose. I'm hearing the phrase, pick your battles. Pick your battles. Okay. I was saying this to the kids the other day. Okay, let's have a look at, there's a card at the bottom of the deck, which is moderation. Look at all that fire. When there's so much fire energy, we need to go nice and slowly, take things in moderation. That is the biggest piece of advice I could give you, actually. And I have been giving people all week. There is a real push-pull energy. There's a real, as we're starting this new year, feeling the pressure to do new year, new you, set goals, get back on, kids back to school, and it's like, oh my God, I just don't want to do anything. I've had, obviously back working this week, and like when you're self-employed, you just can't take like weeks and weeks off, and obviously a couple of clients had to change, because the snow, and I was like, yes, okay, I can rest. This is great, I just embrace it. And it's just a tough week for me as well, just stuff going on. So I've needed to rest and to sleep a lot and process my own stuff. So take the time to do that. Take the time to close out. Don't feel any pressure to move forward, to give yourself these strict goals, these strict things that you're going to start, and then you don't, or you start it and then you stop it and you can't maintain it because your energy's so low, and then you feel dreadful, like a failure. My Aries daughter's doing this at the minute, and I'm like, Ava, just go easy with yourself. But she has to learn, unfortunately, having a health coach as a mother You think it would be very beneficial, but she will listen to everybody else out there and not me. She was coming in going, protein, and buying this. And I was like, have I told you this about the protein? But we have to learn our own way, okay? But they will lead by example. So, you go first and others will follow, all right? So, what time is it? That's okay. I'm not doing too bad, all right? I have a client coming in 20 minutes. So I picked a couple of dragon cards because, and then I'm going to look at the one at the bottom. There's a lot of dragon energy. Like, I'm literally looking at this candle. Like, one of my clients brought me this candle. Although I can't get the rest of it lit. I need a long thing, but it's quite funny. And it's actually called Dragon's Blood, which I didn't know. So I was just seeing that there. And then I was talking to a friend there who's got a little pet dragon lizard thing. She's not an animal person and she's loving this wee dragon. I love this. I would love it, honestly. And it was meant to be for the chapter. So I feel like there's a lot of dragon stuff coming up. So let's have a wee look at the dragons that are supporting us in January. And I just love this. I love this one. This is probably one of my favourites. Look at that deep blue. Look at that. And the thing with dragons, okay, so there's 4th dimension, 5th dimension, 6th, 7th, 8th, right up to 9th, which is like, really highest vibration. And we all have our own, dragon guide. We have an angel, but we have a dragon, and you don't necessarily need to know what that is. You just need to know you have a dragon guide, and you can ask that dragon. Dragons love to do things. So you can say, okay, off you go and help me manifest this, or help me do this, or bring me a solution, or whatever. They're very grounded. The elemental dragons are earth, air, fire, and water. I would often bring those into sessions. I often bring them into my activations that I do. I was hoping to get an activation done for Sunday it's quite a powerful day on Sunday. It's a 1111 portal. So it's all new beginnings. 4 ones are obviously 4, which is foundations. But I don't think I'm going to get it done. Apologies, but just acknowledge it anyway in your own way. So this royal blue and gold dragon strengthens you to stand in your power and your wisdom. And you're being given, the blue is connected to your higher soul self, and you're being given this beautiful cloak and this sword, okay? And it feels like, what I'm hearing is many of you are upgrading to a higher timeline. You have done a lot of work, particularly over these 9 years. And the problem is you're looking around going, it doesn't feel like I have. I'm not reaping the rewards. I'm not seeing the fruits of my labour. God, I'm using these particular phrases today. That's how you know they're channeled, because I don't use these phrases. And that's making you feel a wee bit doubtful and a wee bit down. And it's almost like it's the breakdown before the breakthrough. Do you really want it? Do you truly have this faith and trust and belief in yourself? Don't give up, all right? You're being given this, but it's like there might be some parts of you that don't believe it, and those are the last parts that you're meant to connect with so that you can move forward, because moving forward into your highest timeline, moving forward into your power, more abundance will require responsibility. So your guide, your angels, your loved ones, God, whatever your belief system is, has to test that you could hold that much, okay? And then I love this, the green dragon. The heart, that's what I'm feeling this month in January. And it's got a key there. Helps you tune into the secrets of nature. Yeah, receive answers and guidance from nature as I drink my cacao. Align with your divine essence. So literally just get out walking. Or going up a mountain. There's spearmint there, which I don't normally have sitting here. I'm going to bring some of that. Spearmint's for the throat chakra. I'm going to bring some of that in. I love this. My daughter used to be obsessed with this. Oh, it's really beautiful. Okay. I'm send some of that your way. Yeah, get out in nature. Just grounding. Don't worry. My daughter was like, oh, I didn't go to the gym today. And I said, darling, did you go for a walk? Yes. I said, so that's okay. You've moved. You've grounded. It's one of the best. A lot of people have a lot of high cortisol, have or going through a lot of stressful stuff, the worst thing you want to do is push that body. But walking balances the left and right side of the brain, left and right side of the body, the masculine and feminine, is probably the best exercise alongside yoga. Okay, not heat yoga, gentle yoga, for reducing stress on the body, and actually it's like a proper healing movement, whatever. Moving meditation, I'm hearing. Very, very powerful healing. Okay. And then the little dragon at the bottom, I want to just look and see what that is, because I'm always in. I love her. I love her so much. Look at her. The Omega Dragon. So those both seem very masculine, those two, particularly that royal blue and gold. Harness the divine feminine power of creation. Intention. What is your intentions for this year? Hold your vision. Like literally take a moment now as I'm asking that. What are you calling in? Can you see it? What does it look like? What do you look like? How do you feel? What are you wearing? Where are you? Who's around you? How do you want to be each day? Feel each day? And is there a word that would remind you of this vision? Because, back to human design. In human design, there is many different ways of manifesting. I didn't know this. I only got my human design chart done like a few months ago. Thankfully, I was living it, and she says you just manifest by visually seeing. So this might not work for everybody, but, we'll take a chance. What are you visually seeing? That's how you start, is visually seeing it, okay? Birth, the higher consciousness, that is the divine feminine. I'm looking after this dog. He's a male dog because the female dogs in the house are in heat. And he is literally going and seeing, trying to impregnate them. There is symbolism in that, okay? So, there is like a rebirth. There's always a rebirth. Number one is birth, okay? What is wanting to be birthed through you? I was talking to somebody this morning about like hip pain, and that is connected to the ovaries, and the ovaries produce estrogen, and that's all about creation. It's the creation hormone. And when you go through menopause, one of the things I want to do, and I've said this many times, I've just had so much going on. I want to talk about menopause from a spiritual point of view. And yes, physically, when you go through menopause, your estrogen drops. Your estrogen is your female hormone. Your estrogen is that part that makes you sympathetic and empathetic and just really nurturing, Mother Mary. And then you literally have no patience. You literally are sore from the estrogen leaving, the joints. You get hot flushes because the energy, instead of going out to the world to help, is now coming in, and it is igniting a power within you and going up to your third eye and awakening this new version of you. But many of us don't know that. Many of us are not ready for that. And we've been told that it's bad and it's wrong, and take this medication to shut it all down. Not against taking medication, by the way. Each to their own, okay? And it has helped many people, but it also hasn't. And for me, I just want to give a different perspective on that, because that is what worked for me. I'm really sensitive to medication. And my mum didn't go on that. I didn't. I'm now nearly through the other side, but it's been a journey, and I want to help guide others with that. But it's all about the birth of, menopause is power and purpose. Power and purpose. What are you here to do? What are you here to create? What are you here to step into? And you're doing that for your ancestors also. Okay? And men go through menopause as well, if there's any men listening. All right? Just have to, in a similar way. It'll be exactly the same. Same words, everything. So, okay, I want to look at this card. So I was asking about, this is another Kyle Gray deck called Gateway of Light. Me talking about all of that. It's got him going. He was lying there nice and calmly. Let's see if he lie down again. Because they feel everything. Like, I was really down yesterday, and you could see him. He was like literally like pawing at me, and then that made me take him for a walk, and that really, really helped. Okay, sword of light. I love this card. Divine protection. There's protection. Okay. Cords cut. Breakthrough energy. So let's see if we can talk about protection here, because I did say I would talk about this. I do not want my cacao to get cold because I will not drink it. That's a terrible waste. That beautiful stuff. One of the things I want you to do is imagine. So when we were imagining our intentions and visualizing it there, I want you to now drop in your future self. I want you to drop in, my business is called Soul Self Mastery, and really that is, I help you to connect with your soul self, to be your authentic self, basically, okay? And one of the ways you can do that is to connect to your future self, because really that should be your guide. There's many different, guides and angels and ancestors, but the most important guide is you, and you connecting with you and your higher soul self, higher self, authentic self, okay? So let's just, as you're looking at your intentions, as you're looking at how you want this year to be, look at you in 1 year's time. So look at you like sitting here next Christmas, next January. You in 1 year's time, having all of what you're calling in. That is your future self. Look at him or her. Feel the energy. That's your guide. Okay, ask them anything. Now you're going to see them with a sword, and they're here to cut any cords that are not serving you, because they know what they are. And they're literally, oh golly, I'm feeling like something being cut there. So they're literally just going to cut. You can close your eyes for a minute and visualize this sword of light, cutting lower vibrations, cutting old cords and hooks and tears and any holes you already feel it's not serving. And it's really important. Like, one of the things, sorry, I'm going to have to talk about sex here, sorry. One of the things I was listening to this morning, just because the kids woke me up early going to school, and I seen a reel, and it was just talking about sex. I don't know, can I say that word? I don't really know about these rules. And how it is a sacred act. It is a sacred act, and we haven't been taught this. And when you merge with another person like that, just as my dog did with the other dog, all of your lifetimes, all of your stuff, unfinished business, all crosses over. Okay, so it's really important for you to be in your power, and for you to, not allow that, or know what it is, and also to cut it. So if you are, it's important to cut from all past lovers. That's what I'm saying, I suppose. The other thing that I'm going to say is, I can't believe I'm going here. Yes, I know. He's like, do you want to come up and say? The other thing is, when you're trying to manifest, come on up, coming up. When you're trying to manifest, okay, and when you are, he doesn't want to be on camera, when you are setting intentions, try this and let me know how you get on. If you have that in your head and you do the deed and you're about to owe, if you visualize all of that at that point, you're literally sending that out to the universe on a very powerful high vibration. That's all I'm going to say on that, okay? But back to protection, okay? Dogs, animals, like, we all have a main animal guide. And one of my main animal guides that I would call in at times, really should call in, is the wolf, okay? And dogs are, they're, the team wolves, aren't they? This is Leo and Poodle. You've got your physical protection, which, you can do by putting yourself in a bubble, by cutting cords, by, setting affirmations, by physically looking after your physical body, through food and through movement. But also the third element, which a lot of people leave out, okay, is your internal work. Say you do all that you're meant to do in your protection, but energies are still affecting you, energies are still getting in. It means that there is a version within you that is subconsciously attracting that, if that makes sense, okay? So what you have to do is then connect to that version of you and help to heal her, because she is the one, like attracts like, the law of attraction, okay? So he or she is the one that is attracting that in order for it to come up to be healed. That is why we do this internal work. That is why we do the shadow work. And I would highly recommend that book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Okay, and because it really allows you to see, and you might have to read that many, many times, but for those of you that are wanting to make a start on this, to do the shadow work, to do the internal work, obviously I will help you if you want to join me on the next round of the Hormone Balance. Like, that is the most powerful, because I'll be there as a coach, because I can see the, you know, these versions of you that, you know, the inner child, inner teenager. It's just something I'm gifted in doing, and it really, really helps me with one-to-ones, or when I'm, you know, on, you know, doing group stuff. But you just simply creating a daily sacred practice. Spend the next couple of weeks going, what's a good practice for me to do? And you can have a practice if you have longer time, but you can also have a practice if you just don't have very, you know, like 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. So sort of like cords cut, breakthrough energy. That's what I'm saying. Break down to break through. So you might find in January, like there was the card of fear there, but I just didn't want to look at it. Just not entertaining that energy. It's there. We know it's there. There's stuff happening, but it's coming up for a reason. Okay, these deep fears, so that they do not control you anymore. Facing the fear. You know what is the hold it has over you, and is it real? Okay, and then Akashic. Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about healing stuff, like I'm obviously talking to you about doing, you know, inner child stuff. Akashic is old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. You know, like my word of the year is freedom. I talked about a word there. So when you were manifesting, have a think about a word of the year. Don't overly think about it, you know. Akashic records. Akashic, you know, that's the book of our soul. All the choices and the decisions that we have made through all our many lifetimes. We've had many lifetimes. And a lot of what's happening at the minute, because it is a number 9 year of karma, is a lot of past life stuff is crossing over with future life. And that's where a lot of the fears are coming from. So if you know that, which I do, and that's what I help people with, and I read their Akashic records and clear their Akashic records, because understanding the past life isn't enough. It needs to be cleared. It needs to be understood and cleared, so that is done. Sorry, I can't. This dog keeps. But if I put him down, he might cry. All right. Releasing old stories and releasing past lives. Okay. If you're interested in doing Akashic record clearing, I'll pop the link for that below. It's very powerful. However, I would recommend doing some of your own work first, because it is very strong. Okay, the clearing of it. So I do encourage you, we are in this lifetime for a reason, work on it, you know, first. Okay. And then the card at the bottom is the Halls of Amenti. Initiation, secrets revealed, treasures uncovered. Like initiations, I was saying this to somebody yesterday. Oh, there's my client. Down. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna have to go here. I didn't realize that was my client. Initiation. Okay. So initiation is whenever stuff happens, it is us being initiated. Okay. One of my friends yesterday seen an otter, and I was like, that means initiation. Okay. And she's like, I can feel something big coming. And we can, but we have to go through, you know, the stuff that's coming up to get to that. And it will feel like a breakdown, a breakthrough. I am so sorry. I thought I had longer time. I was getting a bit too chilled with the dog there. There was some cards, more cards I wanted to pull from this deck, but let's just end with this. Magic Guardian. You are the Magic Guardian. Just time to unlock the magic within. Much love. Take care. Happy January.